certainly what strikes me most is how fast the industry is moving. That's really the most important element. As Joe was just saying, the technology is maturing and it is being embraced by different industries. Because at the end of the day, this technology has been available, but it has been the privilege of a few. And now, with all that is happening, the exponential increase in computer chip programming, data availability, it makes it that it's now possible to analyze such a huge source of data and many different sources, many different formats to make sense out of it. And it's moving fast. Obviously, the tech industry is important. It's happening in fintech, but in the life sciences industry, in the pharma industry, it's now. I mean, at the beginning, it was testing it. Are we going to go for it? And it was the privilege of a few, but now that's it. Everybody is embracing it. You can't spend a week without reading anything that is healthcare related, where there's a new development. And again, last week, one that was extremely interesting was how the Apple Watch that we all have is now being used in the clinical trials as a biomarker for atrial fibrillation. I mean, talk to me, like a year ago, I wouldn't have bet on that. And this is now happening. And it's only the beginning. It has, in the pharma, certainly it has been in place, validated, some FDA, as Martha was saying, some FDA approvals in the med device. Now, the proof in the pudding is going to be in the therapeutics. And this is where it's going to be really a big game changer in really helping the industry reduce the time to market, reduce the cost of those developments, and bring to the patients a therapeutic treatment that is personalized. And we are there, we are getting there. So I know when we were saying earlier that the AI now is appreciated at board level as important for the companies. Implementation is what is keeping them awake at night. And when you talk about implementation, you have two options to implement AI. Either you do it internally or you do it externally. So you've just touched on a few of the issues, like the lack of expertise, lack of the fight for the right people, the right staff, and who understands AI, who understands the technology. And to be honest with you, when I implemented spraying, that was one of my biggest problems. I needed to find somebody who understood the science and the AI at the same time. So that was really hard. So that's a really important element. But you know what? Another element that is extremely important when you want to implement it internally, is where do we start? So a lot of them just don't know, okay, what are we going to do with this technology? Which problem are we going to solve? Where are we going? Which department, which business unit is going to be used? Where are we going to be implementing that? So that's one of the biggest issues. Where do we start? We all know it's important, but what do we do with it? And that's okay. You can have a ChatGPT on your iPhone, but if you don't know how to prompt it, or if you don't know how to ask a question, then you're going to be stuck with it. And it's good to have it, but if you don't know what to do with it, that's another element. So implementing it internally definitely has some challenges. And I think that the big one is, where do we start? Then when you want to implement it externally, so in terms of partnerships, understanding who to go with, then certainly what I hear from the industry is that there are so many different tools now available. Which one do we choose? Which one do we go for? And which, because when you're going to be starting such a project, it's going to be for hopefully the long term. So that's going to be a major investment to learn each other, how we're going to work. And it might be that it's a small startup, but they are not going to be there in the next year. So it's certainly from the industry, talking to those that need to enable AI within the companies, it's very much, there are so many tools. Which one do we choose? Obviously, the big pharma is having the luxury of working with the Googles and the Apples of this world. But when you are not a Novartis, not a Roche or whoever, or J&J, you may not have that luxury. So who do you go with? So that's another challenge. So definitely, we are all aware that it's important. How do we implement it is one of the key challenges. Something else that is happening right here, right now, actually, is we were saying earlier about med devices being already FDA approved, and the most challenging element are for therapeutics. But when you know that there is this company that is called In Silico Medicine that has now got clinical trial phase 2 with a drug that is 100% developed with AI. So that's only the beginning. So that's really what gives me hope. And we are, with all those technologies, seeing, like, for example, there was this announcement about AlphaFold that predicts more than 50% accuracy of targets, molecules working on specific targets in oncology. So that was amazing news. And really, there's been a latest analysis that is saying that theoretically, within the next 10 years, the whole process of getting a new drug to market could go from 10 to 15 years to only 1 to 3 years using AI technology. So that's going to be amazing, amazing. So there is hope, there is a lot of opportunity. Everything is gearing towards that. And to be honest with you, we are so lucky to be in the middle of it. We are and experiencing it, being able to direct it. And like, again, when I started my career in CI, we were doing analysis, and now with the platform that we built with Spring, you can use different sources of your clinical data reports, conference reports, monitoring that we do for you, and it's going to build automatically a summary of the intelligence, reading all those PowerPoints that we've built for you. So it's really unique, and it's something that we couldn't have done like 2 years ago.